That's with the lights on in here, but number one said the one in that corner is not working. Kind of figured I might find these feeders empty this morning. I think the 1 and 2-year-old lot's full. Started raining about 11:15 last night, and the wind hit it. I don't know, 4:30, 5 o'clock. I haven't made her down to the rain gauge yet, but yeah. At least I know I gotta feed these girls today. Would have been nice. Well, of course, it's not raining right now. It's just very windy. And that would most likely be, if you can see anything up there in the sky. Yep, a little bit. Middle of the screen, kind of. It's about that time for the Intel jets to be headed between Portland and Los Angeles or wherever the hell they go. Anyway, I'm going to go to the shop because now it's starting to rain again. Number one got here and she brought the sunshine with her. Oh, well, it's not raining, even though the wind's blowing like crazy. Let's see if we can get some cows fed. So I had to get rid of my coffee cup because it's empty. Get my sunglasses on, try and keep the hay out of my eyeballs. Because no matter what, the way the wind goes through here, right now it's in my face, but as soon as I got a bale in front of that tractor and I go the other way, when I get up there, oh, a rainbow even. I get up there, it'll be in my face. And when I get to the bottom end of the machine shed and point her back this way, it'll be in my face again. Figure that one out. So, anyway, that's how the day's starting. At least we don't have to feed the steers today. They still have some, but the other feeders are all empty. And had a few people ask about how this old girl's starting. She's still starting hard. It's still at about 12 degrees. I need to put it back to 0. And this is kind of hard one-handed, but I don't know if she'll fire or not. I've been giving it a bumpy ether. Yeah, it just needs a bump and then it's running. It's better than it used to be. Well, the rainbow's a little bit brighter now. And we haven't had a frost yet, but trees are changing. I noticed it yesterday. They're changing really quick. That one was fine 2 days ago. Now it's colored. Same with those right there. Oh well, I gotta hurry up. Because sure as heck, that black cloud, about the time it gets here, if I'm not done, I'm gonna get wet. It's already got a few drips hitting me. Never guess what she's doing. Honda 300s and starters. That one's been rebuilt. And the one she's pulling out needs some brushes. This is on Ron's bike. And I just made something look black and pretty again. Now to go through and get everything dried up good and do a little seal work and then check and make sure everything works. And figure out where to mount this thing on here, because that's one of the things I gotta do. While I roll it around in my head what to do for gear shift linkage and everything else. So much fun. Oh, and at the moment, it's not raining. But yeah, I did get wet right after the last little clip. And Becky's gonna go go grocery shopping today. Old Mother Hubbard's cupboard again. Oh, she was putting tools away. I turned the key and hit the starter and all we got was click, 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 click. I thought that Tom had rebuilt that starter. Apparently I was mistaken. It must be one to go in. So, apart it comes again. Yay. Put the old one back in because at least, brushes are just sticking. You can tap it and make it work. This one I tried tapping and it wouldn't work at all. So y'all know what she said when I made it go click, click, and she gave me that look. Yep, starts with a capital F, ends with a capital K.
It was funky, Dad. There we go.
Yeah, she said funky, but it's only 4 letters. Oh well, anyway. Well, she's been dinking with that. I'm going to go over it again, but years ago, first place I ever found this stuff was Hobo Freight. Mail ordered. It works. And now I think just about everybody carries it. It's liquid electrical tape. So seals that all good. I'm going to go over it again because there's a couple spots that just kind of need it. And incidentally, our local Case IH dealer, which changed hands recently, about 10 years ago they had a bunch of small tractors that they sold to dairymen down at Tillamook for pushing manure in the barns. And she just made a mess. I don't know what she did. She knows how it goes together. It just all came apart. Usually it comes apart like that. Last time it came apart with the other shaft, so it was a little easier. Anyway, after about a month, they started having issues with tractors not starting and things not working on them and too much electronics on them. And the John Deere dealer had the same issue. Well, of course, John Deere, they charged everybody every single time they had to work on it, even though it should have been under warranty. And they get the tractor back, and the same thing had happened within a week. The Case IH boys, they got smart. Before they even took a tractor down there, they would go through and take every single ground wire off, polish everything, a little dab of dielectric grease, and then they would use that liquid electrical tape on everything. It's kind of a bitch to get off when you need to take things apart. But guess what? They didn't have any of those come back. So, something to think about. The story, somebody got lucky. Apparently it was
the one that fell apart.
The gear that the shaft didn't come out with, that wasn't set in right, so it wouldn't start to turn, so it wouldn't go.
Even though it went together just fine?
She just took it apart, put it back together, and it turned right over with no issues. So I'm good with that. Saved a little bit. Yeah, it's been a day. Actually, most of the day's been about like right now, just a little more windy. There's, see if they'll show up. Not really. All the little yellow spots out there are all leaves off trees. And it's really been like this, like I said, except for some wind. It quit raining this morning, and other than while we were feeding, I don't think it's rained since then. It rained for half of that. I still don't have any furnace bearings yet. Might have to cut the spiders off that hold the bearings and get complete new spiders and bearings to get anything. Tom's still trying to see what he can find. Lovely thing about outfits that make stuff for so many years and then quit making it, and 10 years later there's no parts for it. So, and the parts came for that generator, everything but the muffler. But number one had food bank today, and she called me and she says, "Daddy, I love you." Yeah, that means she ain't coming tomorrow. Seems Corey's got a driver who apparently won't be working tomorrow. Ron's not supposed to work, but if he has to, he can. But it's another driver, and so it sounds like Maury's going to be up half tonight, plus be working tomorrow, so she's going to be sitting there in the seat poking him to keep him awake. Says she'll be here bright and early Friday. I should be cleaning that frickin' mess up while it's not raining. I might still do that. We'll see. Then I can get oil barrels moved around. In the meantime, I got lazy and took a long lunch. Kind of a mistake. But I was also on the internet trying to figure out wire color codes on this. I'm assuming that one is ground, one is most likely a hot wire to the manual switch on here, and one would come from the controller switch. I'm assuming. I don't know. And if I had to guess, I'd say the blue one might be the ground, because we did find something about blue being a ground in the book. But everything in the book is all two-wire systems that are shown. And I have even gone online to Raven and looked up the part number. And guess what? I can't get any information on that at all. And I don't have part numbers on the valves, or on the solenoids anyway. Maybe there is. That might be a part number right there. Probably is. Maybe I'll look that one up and see what I come up with. But I put a zip tie on all those and held them down. I really wanted to go around here, but you can't. It won't go through. So I went that way, which still holds them where I want them anyway. And that liquid tape should be dry enough now that I can go over the top of it and add some more to it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I got a clip I did a little bit ago that isn't on my phone. Don't know what happened. I've been trying to figure out what wires are what on here, and it's kind of interesting. The green and yellow appears to be the ground. The blue closes the valve, but you have to have contact with the brown to open the valve. No contact with the brown to close it. Kind of interesting. The brown will just click it by itself. So, I don't know. I just know that somewhere there's a harness with the other end on it, and it better all work. I've gone through and checked. I've cycled the first 4. If you look in there, that's in there quite a ways, because these are now open. And that one's not open yet. I just got the connectors off because I was having a hard time getting good contact. And I wanted to end with a couple of things. Yeah, one thing. I told Bruce I'm working on a $1,200 valve. Yeah, that's about what it costs to replace that. So, it's not like it's something cheap. I don't want to screw it up. I want to make it work. So there you go, Bruce. There it is. There is a manual option too. You take these little clear caps off, and you can put a 9/16 wrench on there. I cleaned those up. I thought some of those used to be push buttons, but apparently not on this one. Anyway, a couple of things. Last I heard, Ron's wife's still doing good. She was this morning anyway, so I assume, he'll let you know in the comments. A couple people mentioned, I said something about that wreck on Sunday on Highway 26 at Manning, that number 1 and Maury were stuck in with the truck and trailer. I found out today that it was apparently an idiot passing, ran into a car head-on with 3 people in it, and then deflected off and hit another car. So apparently it was 3 cars involved, not 4, which was the original thing. The car they went head-on with killed all 4 people. And the person that was doing the passing to cause the wreck is apparently in critical condition. So since a couple of you, mentioned it, yeah, I figured I'd update you on that. And another one that I meant to throw in yesterday and I didn't. Got a farmer in the county who, like many his generation, served our country during Vietnam. He was captured and held captive for, I don't remember what it was, 1.5 or 2.5 years, something like that. He was held by the North Vietnamese for the longest. I mean, they wrote him off way before he was ever found and brought home. His family runs a dairy that I used to haul some silage for. They still have what he had. He passed away yesterday at home. I don't know of what. I mean, old age is obviously could be a factor because he wasn't a young man anymore. So, yeah, if you look it up and find out who was held captive the longest, you'll find his name. Hell of a nice guy. I just wish I would have been able to see him a little more often than I did. Haven't seen him for quite a while. Probably, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years now. Probably 6 years at least. Used to see him fairly regularly, 3 or 4 times a year at least. Get to talk to him for a few minutes every time. Anyway, prayers and thoughts for his family. I've already extended those. May he rest in peace, and thank you for serving our country, sir. And with that, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to test this last one. I'm going to go in for the day. And maybe I'll figure out where to mount that thing tomorrow, because I don't want it where it's not accessible, but I also don't want it where it's not protected. I got to start somewhere on this thing. Boom's on, I can run lines and hook them up. Although I got to see if I got fittings to go into this. I don't think I do, so I've got to look for something for that. But anyway, thank you all for watching.